Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Season 1 of Cold War and Warzone has been underway for a bit now, meaning we're going to have another pretty big update coming up here shortly. Typically, Call of Duty has larger title updates every 2 to 3 weeks or so, depending on the time of year. Sometimes towards like the end of the game's life cycle, around like August or September, that may slow down a bit, but here early on, in the first few months, we typically see title updates every few weeks. And thanks to the updated Trello board and then also some other content previews, we've actually got a lot of confirmations when it comes to what to expect and what changes to anticipate in the next major patch. So as we go through everything today, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new here or if you're not already subbed, this is the place to be to stay on top of everything going on in COD. From news to intel to updates, you name it. Plus, we're also getting closer and closer to 669k subscribers in total, so feel free to subscribe if you like what you see. Now, when it comes to the next major update for Cold War and Warzone, and I guess by association Modern Warfare as well, we don't have an exact date yet. We probably won't see that until we are much closer to its release. However, I think it is a safe bet to say that this update probably won't be taking place until early January, just because Treyarch and Raven and everyone else isn't really fully in the office, or I guess on duty, because of the holiday break. It's not impossible for it to drop before the end of the year, but my money would be on the first week or two of January for what it's worth. But as always, the vast majority of the confirmed changes we have today stem from the Trello board. And if you don't know, this is where Treyarch and Raven update issues and bugs that they're working to fix ahead of time. Keep in mind, this is not every single change we're going to see in the next update, but it's a handful of ones that they've decided to share with us. So first and foremost, in Cold War in general, we've got some crashing and stability issues being worked on. This one is pretty basic, but also pretty important, obviously. There's been a lot of crashing issues with Cold War pretty much ever since launch. Those bugs are always being worked on throughout the years, so if you're having any issues with the game freezing or crashing randomly on, honestly, any platform, the next update should help with those to at least a certain extent. Another issue that's been popping up quite a bit lately has to do with COD points. Some players are actually seeing negative COD points on their account from time to time, so you owe Call of Duty COD points. You're in debt COD points at this point. But that one has actually been fixed for the most part. But it also seems like redeeming COD points right now has a bunch of problems with it. I know I've seen a handful of people say that they go to buy COD points and then they just don't show up on their account for hours or even sometimes days later. I know I got some the other day and it took like 4 hours for them to actually appear, so this should be something that gets updated in the next title update. Honestly, not a huge issue in the grand scheme of things, but problematic nonetheless. Then, Treyarch also mentions that they're looking into players losing the ability to navigate the menus after seeing the after-action report. And basically with this one, you get your whole match summary and then you can't go to change anything or even check the menus. Obviously a pretty annoying one, and that is being investigated currently. There's also talk of the prestige level leveling, then also the ranking up animation that we talked about the last time we did one of these videos. And even though they have updated this before, it still seems to have a handful of problems with it where the whole leveling up animation is not super accurate. Then also the rank displayed in the after action report can also sometimes be inaccurate too. So that's being worked on as well. Now, there's also some multiplayer specific fixes coming up for Cold War, including some updates to combat split screen visual issues. That is being investigated as we speak. They don't really go into full detail as to what issues they're looking into exactly, but split screening in general is getting some updates soon. They're also still working on the Dirty Bomb team names apparently appearing incorrectly. This is another one that we've talked about before that is still yet to be fully fixed, but that's being worked on too. And hopefully we're going to have a fix for that in the coming days. Then moving over to zombies briefly, here they're working to fix elite eliminations and killing blows not tracking correctly, and this is actually listed as fix scheduled, so this one will for sure be fixed soon. And I am definitely glad to see this one on here because as I was going through and unlocking Dark Ether the past couple of days and weeks, I noticed that a lot of my elite elimination challenges were tracking very, very inconsistently. And by that I mean sometimes I'd kill a Megatron and then take out his 2 small boys, and then I'd progress, one of my elite eliminations. Sometimes I'd kill 2 small boys and get progress for 2 elite eliminations. Sometimes I don't think I got any progress at all, but the tracking in general was not super great, and that is going to be fixed in the next update, so definitely some good news there. And then the weapons losing attachments after being pack-a-punched is also going to be fixed here soon. Obviously, kind of working backwards if that happens to you, so again, good news to hear that that one is being updated. Also, one bug that was not mentioned on the Trello board that I assume is going to be fixed is that of the operator skin missions not tracking or just unlocking in general. Those are pretty commonly bugged right now for various operators, and I'd expect those to be fixed here shortly. Now, outside of the Trello board, we also have a few things that have either been announced before as coming at a later date, or just some standard changes and updates that we usually see with every single big update, especially around this time into the game's life cycle. And one of those standard things is, of course, weapon tuning, and while I'm sure Cold War multiplayer is going to have plenty of weapon tuning added in, most of it, I'd assume, is going to happen over in Warzone, where it's pretty needed, to say the least. Obviously, right now, there are a handful of extremely dominant weapons in the game. I'm talking the DMR-14, I'm talking the Big Mac-10, the Diamatti, aka the Diametti Spaghetti, because saying just regular Diamatti isn't fun. But those three are already dominating the Warzone meta in almost every single lobby, it seems. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see some nerfs take place for those three guns. Probably some damage reductions, maybe some more recoil, maybe some range reductions. For that, we are going to have to wait and see. And of course, I assume a handful of other weapons are going to be buffed just to make them more competitive overall. Maybe we'll see some of the Cold War rifle ranges extended. Maybe the velocity gets increased for those. Again, gonna have to wait and see. But weapon tuning is essentially confirmed, considering we are still pretty early on into the year. Now, back when Season 1 was initially announced, we of course got word that Rebirth Island is going to have its own specific Gulag adaptation, and considering we've only had Resurgence Trios so far, we haven't had a chance to experience the new Gulag there. So while we don't know if it's 100% coming with the next update or not, we know that a regular version of Rebirth Island is coming up where you can respawn through the Gulag instead of through a countdown timer. Also, for what it's worth, Resurgence Quads should also be coming to the game at some point soon as well, so either of those modes are possible for the next update, we just don't know which one yet. Then another update that's not necessarily confirmed yet, but definitely worth talking about, is that of the Dark Ether camo update for Warzone. Obviously, if you have Dark Ether or any of these zombies camos for that matter, you can't use them in Warzone right now. Very disappointed in that, honestly, but that feature should be coming at some point here in the near future. Could be with the next update, could be with the one after that, but regardless, the option to use zombies camos is on the way. Then finally, one more thing I wanted to bring up actually relates to Modern Warfare, and that is the brand new Ronin skins that have sort of been bugging out on the main menu for a bit now, and apparently these are going to come as a store bundle, so while you can see them now available apparently if you just purchase Modern Warfare, these should be officially released soon as a new bundle with additional challenges to unlock the skin variants, so we can look out for those as well. So yeah, there you have it. With all of that being said, those are all the confirmed changes that we've got for the next major update in Cold War, Warzone, and Modern Warfare, and that is going to wrap things up for today. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it, and of course, if you're new here and you want to stay up to date with the latest Call of Duty news, intel, updates, and pretty much everything else in between, feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on, that way you'll always know whenever I upload a new video. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code WhosImmortal for a discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, and Control Freak products, and all those links can be found down in the description below. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.